So let in from start one. Once again, this is our first of 3 pilot sleds. They don't get named for downtime for these athletes. We're going to go test the testing guidance sled to make sure everything's out there for upcoming winners of Monobob. section of our track. Now into white face. Entering the Devil's Highway. Through the highway and into Shady 2. Now come down to the labyrinth. Enter 14. Sliding through the chicane, making their way into the heart. Coming up 19. Through 20. Then crossing the finish line. Just about 6 minutes away from sending our first competitive sled. Track is clear to start one. Perfect.
Lake Placid, New York, the venue for the 1932 and 1980 Winter Games. And it is the venue for the 2025 IBSF World Championships. Welcome back, everybody, to what is a fairly windy, snowy and chilly afternoon here in Lake Placid in the Adirondack Mountains. We're getting ready for the first of 4 heats of the Women's Monobob World Champs. Delighted to have alongside me from Team USA, Riley Tejak. Riley, we've already seen this week how tough a track this is. Where are these ladies going to find their speed?
Absolutely, Martin. You'll see that this track is what's known as a driver's track. So coming here out of curve 1, you really have to be careful with this pressure. People lose and break into skid a lot of places here. Into 2, you'll see people struggle hit. And once they come here, everyone will hit. There is no escaping hitting out of 3, but it's minimizing the damage. We saw all day people getting a little wonky through here. The Devil's Highway, super important for speed. Get on to 8 nice, set yourself up for big shady. This is a big curve 10, which is a setup here for the labyrinth. Coming into 11, it doesn't look too tricky, but it's a setup for 12. You want to come off here, not hit that right wall to really get your speed. Coming out of 14 here, you're about to go what's into the chicane. It might not look like it, but there's 2 little bumps you'll see. Big, long 17, set up for 18, which is super up, down, quick. We saw some trouble here in the men's race. And in 19, you're going uphill, you're losing speed, so you want to minimize any contact with any walls here. Get a little bit of a head duck and hope that you did enough in that run.
Start record and track record set in the final race of last season, the World Cup here in March 24. And so nearly a year later to the day, when was it? 22nd of March, all right, so 360 odd days, we are ready to go again. Now, ice temperature -7, air temperature -7, so it is getting colder. And Francesco Frigi was saying in the first heat of the men's competition, he was 200ths off a 13-year-old track record. And he said the reason they didn't get there is because when they sanded the roads after snow and ice yesterday, the wind has picked it up and blown it into the track, and just enough to take the edge off. But again, it's had another fresh spritz, so another layer of water, like sending the Zamboni down. And so hopefully we should get a quick race. We have 21 sleds in our heat. And as we saw in the 2-man, a lot of familiar names and some new names to conjure with as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see how our newcomers fare. And also how some of our regular World Cup race and medal winners fare on a track with which they're much less familiar. Lisa Nolte goes off first. She's our World Cup champion for the season. Lauren Nolte and Breeana Walker also had great seasons. Kaysha Love was a race winner as well. And of course, for the home team, you've got Elana Myers-Taylor, Kaysha Love, Kaillie Humphries, the Olympic champion in Monobob, and new names as well from Thailand, from Jamaica, from Taipei, and from Spain. So it's going to be interesting to see how this mix works out. And in the end, 21 sleds, 20 go through into the final heat. So one unfortunate driver is going to miss out. Ready to go for the start of the IBSF Women's Monobob World Championships. The World Cup winner, the holder of the Crystal Globe, Lisa Buckwitz of Germany, first away.
Let's see what her start time is. She's one of the fastest, 5:87. That might be one of the fastest start times that we see here. Lisa is known for her speed. She was a brakeman and came over to be in the front seat of a pilot and has had so much success here.
Yeah, Olympic medalist in 2022, but a really wobbly 3-4 transition.
That will kill her speed right there. She'll just be dragging and losing speed all the way down because of that critical mistake. Let's see if she can get back on track here and minimize the damage.
Well, most tracks, a mistake might cost you a few hundreds. Here, it'll cost you several tenths. This is a really tough track to drive. She does love a driver's track, but she doesn't know Placid well. Comes straight through chicane. That was nice.
That'll help her with her speed right there. Quick transition here, looks really nice. And now in this uphill portion, you are losing speed. So the speed that she lost in 3, she'll be feeling that here.
Okay, 59.84. Well, that's 62 hundredths off the track record, but how good, bad, or indifferent that is, we won't know until we've seen a few more sleds. Lisa will be cursing herself for that mistake out of 2, won't she?
She didn't look too pleased with that run. I think definitely there's room for improvement. I think she knows that as well. Yep, here's what you see. Everyone's going to hit there, but as you see, she didn't have a double bunk hit. So when you don't hit with your double bunks, especially this mono, you're going to skid all the way down.
And because there's only one body in the monobob, the weight is lighter. It's the size of a 2-man sled, a regular sled, so it moves around a lot more.
It was a nice chicane, though. That is a critical part of the track.
Hello, everybody. Lisa is getting better and better with every race, and she needs to, because this field is strong in depth. Lauren Nolte, the Olympic champion. She has yet to win a world championship. To go with that, she's come close, but not close enough for her liking.
Let's see her start here compared to her teammate Lisa Buckwitz. 596. As she gets off of 1, very nice. I know she was talking to me, she was struggling with that, a lot of training. That 1 to 2 transition, 2 to 3, looks really nice. Up, and she had it too. She did not have that double bunk hit coming out of 3.
Wasn't quite as squirrely as Lisa, and she's gaining the advantage. She's now pulled level with Lisa Buckwitz from 900s behind at the start. Better speed.
Yep, there she goes. We'll see that. That's the mistake that Bree cost you.
Well, she's raced in the World Championships in Samoritz. She's raced at home in Winterberg, and now on the other side of the Atlantic. It was in the US that she got her first ever monobob win. That was in Park City 2 or 3 seasons back.
Very nice. She should be in the head at least by 2/10 here as she crosses this finish line. Up just under 2/10. Very good run overall.
59.65, so still 43 hundredths off the track record. It's a gusty day today. If tomorrow is still and sunny, then we may see lots of records tumbling because the ice is in really excellent condition.
I do think the men being in the morning do have the advantage to potentially see some faster times, but I think tomorrow will be the day that these athletes will continue to be challenged with this hard ice and a hard track, and we'll really see who the best drivers are.
The fan at the bottom there, the sign, Laura oder nix, Laura or nothing. He normally has a little message for almost everybody who's competing.
She does have a good fan base, I will say.
So, look at that great looking chicane, just gets a little tap on the exit.
And that is common that we see on that last chicane right before 17. Okay.
Yeah. Again, hard to judge. First of 4 heats, you know, there's 3 more. You can easily throw away any advantage. And what about Breeana Walker? Won here last year, so she's the most recent top-tier monobob winner, and this track was her first race win in monobob as well.
This track, oftentimes for the Australians, is their home track.
Yeah.
And Bree Walker has spent a ton of time in Lake Placid, and she's coming off back-to-back mono golds in both Lillehammer races.
Yeah. Pierre Luder's behind her coach. He's been a World Championship medalist on this track as well.
We should see a really strong push from Bree Walker here. That is something that she knows very well and what helps her with this advantage. 6:03.
All right, so losing nearly a couple of tenths to Lisa Buckwitz.
As you saw coming between 1 and 2, it's crucial at the top not to have any mistakes. She's coming a little bit late to 4 there, but trying to get it back on track in this Devil's Highway.
Second best speed, third on the split times at the moment.
This is definitely a rocky run for Bree. I don't think she's going to be pleased with this at all, especially the top half so far.
You don't really want to allow your rivals to get away from you in the first heat. She's 3/10 back.
Up double hidden chicane. Tricky part of the track right here. No problems. Very nice, Bree.
Well, she's starting to limit the damage. 3400s back. But Laura Nolte fastest all the way down.
Not too far off of Buckwitz, still definitely within striking distance. We do see a better speed actually from Bree Walker compared to Lisa Buckwitz, but Lisa does have that massive start advantage, and in mono, that means everything for these women.
Yeah. 1300s behind Lisa Buckwitz at the moment. We saw her brakewoman, Chiara Rodinguez, grabbing the sled at the bottom. But yeah, a little rough transition there.
But Bree is leading the way for the Australian program. She has had an incredible season. I truly think this year was her breakout year, and you can tell she is gaining momentum and continues to be in the mix of the top 3, the top 6, and I have no doubt she'll go back to the drawing board, relook at this run, and find a better way to attack to be close to those top athletes. Yeah. Great job, Bree.
All right, 3 sleds in, and we get to Kim Kalicki, the third of our German contenders. Well, Kalicki hasn't taken a gold medal. She's only had a couple of trips to the podium this season. Not a big fan of monobob, it has to be said, but it's an Olympic discipline, so she gets on with it.
I definitely think Kim prefers the 2-woman. She definitely is better than that a bit, but a 6:03 start right here, tying Bree Walker, is huge for her, Martin. We haven't seen that really from her so far this season.
And that's part of the reason why she doesn't really like it that much, because some of her rivals really outpush her at the start.
And in mono, like we talked about, it's everything. So far, looking like a pretty good run. 3rd fastest speed right here. Very nice transition.
She wasn't quite as good as Bree Walker at the top, but 2nd best speed now. She should close on the Aussie.
And that has to do with her top. Her top will allow her to continue to build that speed all the way down. As if she has a smooth chicane right here, she should be, and very nice chicane.
Well, the speed has gone away, though. Slowest sled so far, and the gap is growing behind Bree Walker now by nearly 0.2 of a second. So she's going to be about half a second behind at the line.
Ducks her head. Oh, yep. Over half a second behind.
Yeah.
Sometimes this track is tricky. You think that you have good lines, it looks good, but you might just be overdriving just a bit.
Yeah.
And for anyone who doesn't know the sport very well, when you overdrive, that is killing your speed. It makes it safer, but that doesn't necessarily always get you in the positioning that you want.
Well, if you imagine driving down in a straight line on the highway and you're soaring at the wheel and the car's weaving to and fro, obviously it's not going straight forward. And it's the same here. You don't see the sled move so much, but that friction, that movement of energy sideways instead of forwards, all helps to slow you down.
But overall, pretty good lines here. She's getting in. She's doing what she needs to do. She looks very cold.
It is really windy. The wind is biting. It says -7 on the thermometer. With the wind backing it, it's more like -15. Now then, Kaysha Love, great opportunity for the 27-year-old from the USA here. She really can drive. She's been a multiple race winner last season and this. She's had gold medals at the top level. And this is a great home track advantage for the US sliders.
It is. Kaysha learned how to drive this track. She went to driving school right in Lake Placid. She knows this track well, and it's home to her, even though she lives in Park City.
I love the way she starts so fast, and yet she gets in and down like a flower folding or something. She's so delicate, doesn't land with a thump.
She doesn't. It's that snap. That snap gets her ready to go. A 582 push is amazing. We'll really see that. Second fastest speed, though. She did make a small mistake at the top, but I have no doubt she can get this back on track right here. Still in the green.
Nice smooth transitions as well from Kaysha Love. Best speed of all.
Very nice line here.
If she can shoot the chicane and carry that speed down into the heart, she'll be looking really strong. Out of Benham's Bend.
Okay, little taps, that's normal, but let's see what that does to her speed through the rest of the way down.
Still top speed into the chicane.
Very nice. She'll be at least 0.2 up with this, as long as she carries this through nicely at the top, which she is. This is a great run for Kaysha Love.
What a way to start the competition for the US.
Top speed, 124 kilometers. That'll girl, Kaysha. Great job, way to represent on your home track.
That's 77 miles an hour in old money.
Which does not seem that fast compared to some tracks that we slide as sliders, but Lake Placid has a lot of quick transitions, which you will see, and it feels way faster. You'll see here 12 to 13, pretty good there. Chicane, she hits a little bit there, a little bit on both sides, not terrible, but will impact her speed a little bit. She probably could have been up 0.2, but hey, anytime you come down into #1, especially in a world champ situation, I think we'll take it.
If you're ahead of 3 Germans, you're never doing a bad job, are you? Well, we've got lots of potential contenders here. Not exactly home ice for Canada, but when you start your career in the North America's Cup, you learn this track. That's going to be the case for Cynthia Appiah, for Melissa Lottholz, and for the Bouge, Kristen Bujnowski. So they should be contenders here as well.
Absolutely.
Equally well as if we were in Whistler.
Absolutely. NAC, North American Cup, you spend at least 4 runs here in a race environment.
Yep.
A 590 go ahead for her, putting her 3rd fastest. She is a very powerful athlete at the top. She is strong and she is powerful, and it really benefits her in her monobob event.
Final race of the World Cup season, and Lillehammer grabbed a silver medal, so she was just so thrilled with that.
It was her first medal for the season, and that's what the momentum you want at the end of the year, and knowing that you're coming to Placid, a track that you do know well, being in North America, not too far from home, is definitely an advantage here for Cynthia.
3rd best start, 4th on the split, so ahead of Bree Walker, ahead of Kim Kalicki.
Great chicane, that's really going to help her speed here.
Chasing down the top 3, Kaysha Love, Lauren Nolte, Lisa Buckwitz.
Let's see where she's at the finish. Okay, not too bad, sitting in 4th.
400s behind Buckwitz in 3rd.
You can't be mad about that.
No, not at all.
Cynthia's within striking distance. This is overall a pretty good run for her. I think she should be pretty content when she sees how close she is to the other girls, and I think she can put together something here in the second heat.
Yeah, 4 decent runs. You don't need to superstar any of them. 4 consistently good runs is going to beat 3 good ones and a real shocker, and there's going to be a few of those.
And we love that. Do you see the North America helping out there, USA and Canada? Shout out to North America and everyone listening here. If you see, she hung on to 10 a little bit. There was a little bit of a skid going into 11. That's not necessarily what you want to see, but her chicane was beautiful. Anytime you can shoot the chicane, that is really going to compound your speed and really what you want at the bottom of the track.
Yeah. Nice round from Cynthia Appiah.
Oh, she's fired up. She is fired up.
Yes, she is. All right, and so too will be Elana Meyers-Taylor, Olympic silver medalist in monobob, World Championship silver medalist in Winterberg, Germany last year on German ice. What is she going to do here on home ice?
An absolute legend. I know she's really excited. A little struggle getting in, but a 5.88 Elana. Coming off of having 2 children and all this, we love to see it. She is peaking when she needs to, and I think she's going to have a lot of fun today driving here.
I'm sure she is, and a lot of noise from the crowd as well. You know, she's giving away 15, 20 years to some of the sliders here, and yet she's got the best speed of all. She really can drive this track.
She's an absolute legend, and I will shout out, we played softball at the same university. She is the reason why I'm in this sport and a phenomenal role model to look up to, and she is having one heck of a run. We see that she's in the green right now. Really good speeds. Let's see what she does in the chicane. Oh, little tap.
Second best speed. Kaysha Love was quickest. Kaysha Love is the leader. Are we going to have a US 1-2 at the line in the end?
I think we will.
Yeah. Nolte 1500s back. Has Elana got the gas to get it to the line? No, 400s behind. So Kaysha Love leads. Nolte, the Olympic champion, second. And the Olympic silver medalist and last year's World Championship silver medalist, Elana Meyers-Taylor, is in third.
Overall, pretty good run for Elana, but I do think that mistaken chicane is what put her behind Nolte. Yeah. So I know that she'll probably want to make sure that doesn't happen again in Heat 2, but she is within striking distance. Amazing start for Elana. Here we see her out of 12, coming nice. And then the chicane, it looks like you're good, and then all of a sudden you just see that bunk, and it wasn't a double bunk hit, so it just gives her that little bit of a skid. You see her kind of pop out of her seat right there. Never ideal, but great job, Elana. Great run, sitting in third.
Yeah, that's not her sitting up, that's her getting bounced up by. And again, you know, that hit that lifts her up in the air, that's energy leaving the sled.
Yep.
And it's that energy that races you down the track. So Andreea Grecu now for Romania. Now, normally there are 2 Romanian athletes. Georgeta Popescu has not come to the World Championships this year. One of our youth Olympic gold medalists from 2020.
Grecu is a great athlete at the start here. Yep, top 5 start, 591, not too bad at all. She's been driving really well this season, just been in the mix. And so let's see what she can put together. Ooh, skid there. That is not going to help, but very nice out of 3 into 4, getting into this Devil's Highway.
She doesn't quite seem to have had the touch this year that she has in the last couple of World Cup seasons. She's gone away from the sled looking perplexed more often than not, but she had good speed.
Speed's dropping a little bit, but the lines don't look too bad. It could be that mistake from the start. I think that's just compiling a little bit here. Let's see if she can get a good chicane, keep it nice and straight. Not terrible, but will cost some time.
Yeah, pretty hard hits through there.
And now the uphill section. Can she hold the 6th place that she's in?
Well, ahead of Breeana Walker, or yes, she is by 100th of a second.
Wow.
In fact, 400ths of a second.
This sport, people don't realize how fast hundredths of a second really is, and there's so much that goes into it.
Well, I always say 700ths of a second is what it takes to blink your eye. So we talk about 100th or 200th as being a sizable lead. It really isn't.
Here was that mistake that cost her a lot in the track. She was hanging on too long, that she tried to correct it a little bit there, but that's energy not going forward and energy lost, as you'd said.
Yeah, anything that makes the sled or the athlete move sideways is not going forward.
And you see when you hit there's ice that's coming up, right? And that is friction, that is hitting something else and not going the way you want. But overall, great job, Grecu. She looks happy with that. A nice big smile on her face. That's what we want to see.
Top 6 for Andreea Grecu. Now, what about Beierl? Beierl more comfortable in the 2-seat sled, and that'll be women's bob next week with the 4-man on Saturday and Sunday. But again, she gives it everything here. She's a very talented driver, but she does lose a little at the start to some of her rivals.
And she knows that. And this track, thankfully, is a driver's track. Not too bad with the 594, puts her within striking distance, and that's what you want at the end of the day. How close can you be to the top, and can you drive your way out of it? Very nice 2-3 transition there, and 3-4. We definitely could see her picking up. She should outdrive her start.
She's only 700s behind Lisa Buckwitz at the start, and that's a really good getaway for Beierl.
It is.
6th fastest start. She's up to 3rd on the splits with the 2nd best speed.
Wow, what a run so far that she's having. Let's see if she can keep it. Ooh, it was a little high at a 12, not too bad.
Well, if she can get herself in the mix in the first heat, then all bets are off. Little squirrely through the chicane.
That might cost her a little bit here, but can she hold that 3rd position? Yep, dropping slightly through the uphill.
Could be a top 4 run ahead of Buckwitz at the bottom. 1900s covers the top 3.
Oh,
she's tied for 3rd.
Wow.
Jawohl, says Wolfgang Stampfer. I hope he hasn't made any silly bets with her. If you've seen online, they had a bet about her getting an Austrian record, and Wolfie had to agree to have his hair cut.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at her. Wolfie should get a haircut, but look at her. I think she's shocked herself. She's coming down here tied with Elana Meyers-Taylor on Elana's home track. A 6th at the start and drives herself down to 3rd, Martin.
Well, listen, I'm going to say 594, the fastest start, is only 700s quicker. That's a heck of a getaway. 1200s quicker, beg your pardon.
And we see this little double taps here. That would cost her. If she would have shot the chicane, she definitely would have been ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, she likes it.
Whoopsie. Also, by the way, the best schnitzel chef in Lake Placid, I gather. Obviously, my invitation got lost in the post. Next up, yours did too. Kaillie Humphries, so the first ever Olympic champion in women's monobob. Now, Elana missed the season 2 years ago with her 2nd child, and Kaillie missed last season having her son, who is like the light of her life now, but still, she's such a great driver, and on this track, she's got to be in the mix.
She is. This is also, as an American, her home track. She knows this track well, and she knows what she can do behind the D-rings. She knows, though, she's going to have a little bit of a deficiency at the start, especially coming off just having her beautiful son, Alden. But she's still having a phenomenal season, regardless. 2nd best speed. I think Kaillie's going to be in the top 3 here. Great driver.
And her speed will come back at the start as well before the games. Don't you worry too much about that. 2nd best speed, up to 5th place on the split. Are we going to have a 3-way tie for 3rd?
I think we might.
Whoa!
Oh, that's going to kill her speed right there.
Skates out of Benham's Bend through the chicane.
Oh, Kaillie's not going to be happy with that at all. Minimize the damage, get across this finish line. Yep, the bleeding just keeps going uphill, unfortunately.
Yeah, it happens. 7th at the line.
Coaches, Scheimer knows that mistake was very costly. Coming out of 14, when you're driving it, you want to try to just miss that wall, but get as close as you can to avoid that first chicane. And unfortunately, she just took a hit, and it put her sled sideways.
Yeah. The approved line is there should be a piece of paper between you and the wall.
Yeah, and that's what, as you can see here, you just see it, and then that first bunk, 2nd bunk, and anytime that happens, boom, 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 you see the blades coming off the ice, turning both sides. That's just scrubbing speed. She was having such a good run.
And the runners get sideways. There you are. That's her driving out of Benham's Bend in ahead.
Yep, and she knows it. She's an experienced driver, and I guarantee you, you will not see that mistake again.
100%. Kaysha Love, Laura Nolte, Beierl, and Elana Meyers-Taylor. They're the 4 who are our top 3. Yeah. So 10 sleds in. Next up is our sole Swiss representative, because Mel Hasler is sick in bed. So it's Debora Annan, the daughter of Swiss sliding legend Martin Annan. And she is really coming on over the last season and a little bit where she's been in the World Cup.
She's doing phenomenal. I remember seeing her up and coming up through the Europa Cup, and I was like, who is this girl? And then she finally got up to the World Cup level which I think she's doing incredible at. Great 2-3 here, really proving herself as a driver and an athlete. She's giving a lot of promise to this Swiss program.
Yeah, she started off in the Swiss handball program, and she kept getting injured, so her coach suggested she went to something safer, like bobsleigh.
I've never heard any other coach say that before.
All right, 11th at the start, up to 9th place. 8th best speed. This is Debora Annan. She can drive her favorite track, Hoevenberg. You think she doesn't like this place?
Gosh. Oh, and sideways there too. We see a couple mistakes here from this young Swiss slider.
I'm not sure that she competed in the World Cup here last year, so this may very well be her first ever time in Lake Placid.
Yeah, coming across the finish line in 10th. Still ahead of Kim Kalicki, but had some critical mistakes here. When she was coming into 12, she came in dead late, which is why you saw that high height and being thrown down. That is not the line that you want. It's because she actually exited 11 too soon.
Yeah.
11 is a setup for 12, and that will crush your speed here on this track.
Yeah.
But she's super happy to be here. Great athlete at the start, you know, and we miss Melanie Hasler, but she is holding it down for the Swiss program, and she should be proud.
First Worlds, and she will aim to be at her first Olympics in Milano Cortina.
I think she will be.
Yeah.
And then here, when she comes into the chicane, you see that too. She hits, and she's going sideways. We talk about it's like that hockey stop, and it just kills your speed.
Skates, skis, you get sideways to slow down. So for Canada, our second World Cup regular, Melissa Lotholtz, like Cynthia Appiah, she was a legendary brakewoman.
And she knows this track well. She has won several NAC races here as she came up through the program. 5:95 start. Let's see what she can drive herself to.
Well, that is the 7th fastest start in 12 sleds so far.
Pretty good line, 3 to 4. That will help her. 11th fastest speed, though. Let's see if Mel can get back online.
Yeah, she needs to have a good remainder of this Devil's Highway.
And fun fact, Melissa used to brake for Kaillie Humphries.
She did indeed.
And now competing against each other years later.
Other fun fact, she's a near concert standard pianist. She's phenomenal on the ivories.
Incredible chicane. That will help her. Let's see if that helps move her up in the standings. Nice 17-18. We're not really seeing these monobob athletes struggle like the two-man was earlier this morning.
Yeah. Coming across the line in 11th place, 60.18. That's 400ths behind Debora Annan.
And just ahead of Kim Kalicki here.
Yeah.
Not a bad place to be. We have a really tight grouping here throughout all the sleds. It's always a race within a race. Just 200ths ahead of Kim Kalicki, 400ths behind Debora Annan. Let's see what Heat 2 has in store for these ladies.
And 3 and 4, because tomorrow will be a different day. The weather will change, the track will change with it.
And I will say, I know Melissa has worked very hard for fundraising and everything this year. She came up with her own company, A-Team, and it's really exciting to see women, you know, put themselves out there, be entrepreneurs, and do other things in addition to the sport.
Yeah. A little smile on her face. Okay, so 13 sleds down, or 12 sleds down, as we get now to Margot Bock. So for France, there's her coach.
And she has spent some time here.
Yeah.
So let's see what she can do. She is a phenomenal driver. I think she will like Lake Placid for being a little bit more of a longer track. She can work a little bit to outrun her speed.
Yeah, she outdrives the start every time. Max Robert and Bruno Mijon, the coaches of France and Monaco. So 6:01, well, that's quicker than Debora Annan by 300s, quicker than Kaillie Humphries as well. If she can drive up a storm in this first heat, she should be firmly top 10.
I agree with that. Let's see what she can do. Very nice 3-4. That's what you want to see right there. Through the Devil's Highway.
3rd best speed already. If that is right, then she should start seeing that red number on the right-hand side click down into single digits. Here we go.
Very nice transition, 10-11. That should set her up pretty nicely for 12 right here. And she continues to go up. Now 9th through the chicane. Okay, double hit doesn't help her. Speed's dropping a little bit.
Yeah. Top 10 at the moment. Debora Annan of Switzerland is 10th. Breeana Walker is 9th. She's up to 8th place on the splits.
Okay, what can she do as she crosses the finish line? Little head duck. 7!
7th place.
Wow, put her ahead of Kaillie Humphries by 1/100th of a second. 1/100th of a second behind Cynthia Appiah. We have a tight race, ladies and gentlemen.
This is less a race and more a game of roulette. You just spin the wheel and see where the names come up. That was a really nice drive, and so often she outdrives her start.
She does.
But on the shorter and the more straightforward tracks, it has lesser effect. Here, 19 corners, 20 places to make a mistake.
And this is really where we see who the drivers are.
Yeah.
Obviously, you only have one athlete in the sled. There's no 4-man with 3 men to hide behind, right? It is you and how you do and how you drive this track. I think she's going to be extremely happy with that. Yeah, gives a big hug to her brakeman there.
Yeah.
She's had a little bit of a rough season.
I think this could be the icing on the cake for her. A little bit of a rough season for injury as well for Great Britain's Adele Nichol. Caught her foot under the back runner of her 2-man sled midway into the season, sliced her foot apart. So she's struggling with that, and compensating for having her foot in a boot has also damaged her lower back. So it's not really great. 6:05 is the getaway, but Adele again coming on strong in her 2nd season as a World Cup driver.
And I tell you what, Adele, ooh, little mistake there. Adele was very successful here actually last year in Lake Placid. She had won 2nd, I believe, and was thrilled with that. So she knows this track, she can drive it. She knows she has a little bit of a deficit at the start from injury, but let's see what she can do coming back with it. Did have a mistake at the top though, which I think is costing her right now.
Yeah, it really is. But when you come back to a track where you've done well before, then it gives you that little kind of warm, confident feeling. So hopefully that won't be undone by this first run. She shoots the chicane nicely.
Very nice, Adele. That's the Adele that should know this track well and be able to put those runs together. Very nice at the bottom here. Just, is it enough to move up a little bit? Currently sitting in 14th.
Yeah, she's
head
not
duck.
gonna...
No one looks like there's in there. 14th. Yeah.
Yeah, not going to catch Kim Kalicki. 1.1 seconds back.
And it's the speed there, right? Obviously, already she's going to be at a little bit of a deficit at the start. She started 14th. That's going to hurt her a bit. Yeah. But her driving wasn't where she probably wanted to be. As you can see, here's that big mistake. She was cranking really hard to get off there, and just double bunk hit hurts your speed. But her chicane right here was money. This is beautiful. This is what you want. Here's where you see the true drivers and the experience come into play. All right, quick little wave, and she knows there's work to do.
Disappointed with that run, Adele Nichol. So now then, Patricia Takjanarova from the Czech Republic. Dominic Dvorak behind her. Big day yesterday for Czech sliders. Anna Fernstedt took the first skeleton World Championship medal for her nation with a bronze, having been in the leaders box or in the top 3 throughout the competition. A really, really strong display over 4 heats to take hers and her nation's first ever World Championship medal. Now, I'm not expecting the same of Patricia, but it certainly gives the whole team a little bit of a boost when somebody in this tight-knit group performs so well. Absolutely, and that is contagious. Knowing that it's possible, being from the same country, we can do this, we can combine together. But she is a younger slider. Mistake there. Saw her compete. We saw her competing in the youth, and then we saw her continue to just be in a learning experience. Yeah. But she did struggle in training, looks a little bit out of control here at the top, but Lake Placid is a hard track for new sliders. You see how far back she's leaning in the sled to try and get weight over that rear axle to try for that control. She's going to be a little high up. That does not feel good. Right. Off of there. But a very nice chicane. I believe her first time to Lake Placid. I think so too. So learning this track and doing it in a World Champs environment is a lot of pressure and is tough. And 6 trips down is not really an awful lot to absorb the 19 corners. And then when the second day of training, the final day of training was so much slower, you get into the race and you have to recalibrate again. It's really difficult when you're experienced. It's really, really difficult when you're not.
In training on Wednesday, I was sliding with these sliders. We were going maybe 3 seconds slower because the ice was so bad. So now when you're on hard ice, you can't get away with some of the lines you were taking earlier.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what we're seeing here. Just the inexperience, thinking that you were able to be successful on one line. It's just not going to work here on a race day.
And when you are the Kaillie or the Elana, you've got the knowledge and the experience. When you get the first couple of steers and go, oh, okay, right, I have to anticipate a lot more than I did on Wednesday.
Oh, she's sleepy. She's tired. Hopefully the track didn't put her to sleep. It will wake you up.
All right, so Kaysha Love still the leader as we get to Canada's third slider, Kristen Bujnovski. The Buj was a great woman as well, who's turned to driving and has overhauled her teammate Bianca Ribby clearly to get here and get the selection for the third sled.
What a start. Number one start from Buj, a 580. I knew she was going to give us that, Martin. I have competed against this woman too many times in the NAC to know that she is one of the best at the start.
All right, great getaway. Now she's got to carry that precious speed all the way down the track.
And Buj right now is sitting in a really great spot, sitting fastest speed, number one in the green, and she went to Altenburg for the first time for EC and won that race. We still see her in the green, but her speed's slowing up a little bit. Yeah,
she had a big bump there at the bottom of the Devil's Highway.
She's still in the green. How is her chicane gonna look?
Nice
Very
chicane.
Nice. 300ths of a second.
Yeah, only the 10th best speed. 300s up. She's not going to be our leader at the line, but she's going to be right in the mix.
I think she's going to be the top 3.
She could be second, ahead of Lara Nolte. No! 200s behind Lara Nolte.
Wow.
Get in,
wow. Bruce. I don't think she's seating it. There it is. In the mono, you do have your brakes in front of you, so you can't cheer too much because you are in charge of slowing that sled down. But she's probably ecstatic with this run right now.
Yeah.
Wow. What an incredible start. Fastest start, is right there in the mix, less than 2/10 away from the leader in her first race on a World Championships, let alone a World Cup as a pilot.
Yeah. This is what you hope for when you get good push athletes into the front seat of a sled. It's not guaranteed that they're going to be able to drive, but if they can, oh boy.
And in just 2 to 3 years, this is incredible. She spent a lot of time in Lake Placid on the lower circuits. She's been extremely successful, and now she just came here and put down one heck of a run. Her boyfriend, husband, Josh, cheering her on. He competed earlier today.
Now, Agnese Campiol for Thailand comes to the sport from roller skiing. And in fact, her teammate who was driving in the 2-man competition from the same discipline. I didn't even know it was a thing.
I did not either, but I guess maybe we should be recruiting there a little bit more.
Go. Well, they are so full of enthusiasm, this tiny team from Thailand. A 6:47 getaway. This is her first time in a big world-class field. She's raced in the North America's Cup, but has not seen in person most of the names who are on the entry list here.
She has been very successful in the NAC this year. She has been a couple top 6 finishes. Her and her team are so incredible to work with and alongside. They are always so happy. They give out flowers to all the other women. Just incredible. But she is used to high-level pressure competition. She does have the only silver medal that Thailand has ever won in this sport from the Youth Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Overall, not having too bad of a run here.
Can't
Very
argue
nice
with that.
chicane.
Cannot argue with that.
And within the race here, this is about her getting experience. As a young slider and a young athlete, get to Lake Placid, experience a world championship, take it all in, learn, and see where you're at.
Yeah.
Overall, I'm sure she's look at them, super happy with that run.
Yes.
As she should be. It's not about winning for her here. Look at it. It's about getting down, having a good time, and learning.
And we talked about it in the men's race. If you've got a young athlete like this, you're putting them on the big stage, you don't go with 6.5s. You don't put the fat runners on. You give them a slightly narrower runner. It might be fractionally slower, but it gives them control and builds confidence, and that's what this is about.
And I'm looking at the speeds right here. She actually has faster speeds than some of the other athletes. It's just her start, but that's not what she's worried about right now. She's not going out to get a top 3 medal. She's going out to compete, to cross that finish line, all runners down, and have a good time doing it.
There you go.
And look at her. Oh, big heart, very happy. Great job, Agnes.
Yeah. I met up with her and her male teammates earlier in training, and they were just lovely. And so to Elana Johnson from Jamaica. We saw the Jamaicans competing in the 2-man earlier today. Great to have what is a historic sliding nation, of course, because of all of that Cool Runnings reference.
I knew Cool Runnings was going to get brought up when we see the Jamaican flag. Little bit of a tap there, 1 to 2. This slider, again, was with Agnes, was sliding in the North Americans Cup, so has had a lot of training on this track, but is going more to learn just like Agnes.
And again, it's going to be balancing their performance against each other, because they use each other as a barometer. They're at the same kind of level of development and the same ability. So they're very close indeed in terms of start. She was just 100th behind Agnes.
And a race within a race, right?
Yeah.
Who are my peers? Who can I be competitive against and still make it fun and still see how I'm doing as a driver through my development?
And of course, the one that you measure yourself most against is you yesterday.
Absolutely.
You in the first heat.
You versus the clock.
There you go.
As she crosses the finish line, okay, in 18th place. So Agnes did get her, but not by much, only 900ths of a second. Elana here actually had better speed than Agnes did, which is quite surprising. But that goes into a lot of different factors, where you made the mistake, equipment, all of that.
And great to see another athlete in goggles. That makes that she's doubled the athlete who drive in goggles count.
Her and Kaillie.
Her and Kaillie.
A little old school there.
Yeah.
But here's a mistake here. She's a little high at the exit of 2, which causes her to bump. But it was a double bump hit, which is pretty ideal. There, then it wasn't double bump. Yeah. But overall, not too bad. She got back in control of her sled. She didn't look like she was all over the place. She should be pretty proud of this run.
Yeah, really smooth looking drive most of the way down. So, and she makes her World Championship debut, Elana Johnson, just a few hundreds behind Agnese Campiol. And we still have 3 to go. Now, Kim Yooran is the name that you may have known in the last couple of seasons, competed in the Olympics in 2018, but sort of disappeared from our TVs because she hasn't been competing in the World Cup over the last few years. Raced in the World Championships in Hoevenberg in 2021. That was her last World Championship outing.
But she has been very active in the North America's Cup, so much so that Koreans actually sometimes claim Lake Placid as their home track.
Yeah.
And she does know it well.
Well, Korea and China all start their driving careers here. They come to, historically, they have come to North America because it was closer than anywhere in Europe.
At the time, and we've seen the 10th fastest speed so far. She does know how to drive this track, just not the best starter, but let's see if she can move up. I anticipate she will.
Still top 10 speed, up from 17th to 16th. Now chasing down 15th place, Adele Nicol.
Oh, little taps here and there, but nothing too crucial. Can she catch up with Adele? Very nice.
Kim has plenty of experience. So let's see if she can use it here to close down. Is she going to be 14th, 15th, 15th at the line? She is 1100s ahead of Adele Nicol. And how far behind Kim Kalicki? 2900s behind Kalicki. So that's going to require a little bit of a loose one from Kalicki.
And we're seeing it's her start, really, that I think is slowing her down. Because her speed was better than Kim Kalicki, better than Melissa Lajos ahead of her. But it's that start that is so crucial, especially in the mono. It exposes you as an athlete.
It does. It does.
But overall, great. And we see the Korean program doing very, very well in Lake Placid. The men in the top 6, her teammate. So they know the lines, they know this track. And double peace sign, she's ready to go for round 2.
Ivo Danilevich, her coach, looking after the athletes And he's so big on building confidence. We'll worry about speed later. Confidence first. You learn nothing from crashing. Now then, Lin Sin-Rong for Chinese Taipei. Again, an athlete that is new to our international TV audience, who has experience here in North America.
She was active on the North American circuit and was a luge athlete. She was a luge athlete turned bobsled athlete, so she's familiar with sliding, but a little bit of a different angle from luge.
But lots of, like for instance, the Austrians, they start luge when they're 3 or 4 years old. They learn about ice and how you feel it and how you steer it, and that does translate well. Nico Walter, Olympic and World Championship medalist, he started as a luger in Germany as well, and that didn't hurt his career.
Yeah, you get familiar with the track, and I think she does prefer bobsled. She had told me, and she's doing great things for Chinese Taipei, really trying to get them on the map. I do know throughout the NAC she has dealt with a couple of broken sleds. Ooh, high out of 12, hit out of there. Ooh, hit before 14. But back on track and chicane.
Comes nicely through the chicane. Seen a lot slower chicanes than that. 17th on the splits, so still ahead of the Czech Republic, of Thailand and Jamaica at the line. 18th place, so she slips behind Tanyarova.
Just 0.03 of a second. She's right there.
Yeah.
But that's the key with this, is how fast can you get back on track when you get off of it. So overall, as we saw some mistakes there, 12, 14, but then through the chicane, she got back on track and minimizes the bleeding of losing any more speed. She exits out of 10 here, hung on a little bit longer. That pushes her dead late into 11, and it doesn't look like she did enough, which causes her to have this late height here and that big hit out of 12, which is just scrubbing your speed. And then that little bunk hit, she was just too early on to 14, which pushes her down. But it worked out in the chicane.
Now, whether she had to really haul it out there to straighten up for the chicane, or whether that was just good fortune.
Oh, we love big smiles.
And now for Spain. First time I've ever seen a Spanish bobsleigh racer. This is Liana Garcia, born in Canada, started her career for Canada, but now representing Spain.
And you see Erica Voss, her old teammate, behind her, helping her out here. But Liana now representing Spain, one of the first ones to do it. She also was active in the North American Cup and Europa Cup this year, and now making her debut. Ooh, skid there. But I know she's very excited to compete for Spain and do something that the country hasn't had before.
Absolutely. Now, if John Morgan were in the booth, he'd be able to tell us about all the various different Spanish athletes who have competed in the 30s, 40s, 50s. But certainly in my time in the booth, I'm sure this is the first time I've seen a sled for Spain. 16th best speed, so she's 19th at the moment. Ahead of Adana Johnson, ahead of Anese Campiol.
Oh, that's going to cost her coming out early of 14, which causes 3 hits throughout the chicane. Going to scrub some speed. Can she hang on to where she was before?
That will have knocked out her fillings as well, that triple hit. And you can see how much slower the sled looks.
Yes.
Compared to some that we've seen. 19th at the line, still ahead of Thailand and Jamaica.
And both Canada girls cheering her on. We love to see that. I definitely think she's going to be a little unhappy with that run, just seeing some of those mistakes. But overall, I know she's so excited to be here.
Well, you know what it's like. Your first time when you come to World Cup and there's TV and lights and everything. Although training's one thing and it's quiet and you do your own thing. Then when it's just you and you step up to the block, that's a whole different thumping of the heart, right?
It is, and you're exposed, let me tell you, with these cameras, okay? You can't get away with any mistake, and it's really difficult being in this time. You put a lot of pressure on yourself. You're so excited that sometimes you get a little bit overly excited. Oh, yeah, she gives us a thumbs down, but she's smiling through it because she's so happy to be here.
I was talking to the Aussie guys after their first run, and one of their drivers was saying, did you see my heart? Because you must have. It was beating so hard. And you know, there's a lot of pressure. But now they've got the first run out of the way. Whether you're first or last, now you go round, you get back up to the top. Okay, now it's normal again.
Yep.
You've adapted to this already. You won't be fazed by it. Now you get on with the race. And whether you are Adana Johnson in 21st or Kaysha Love 20 places higher up, 3 more heats to get on with, and that's what the focus is now. Kaysha 1500s ahead of Lara Nolte, and look at the booze, just 200s back, and 200s behind her, another 2 sleds. Lisa Buckwitz, Cynthia, Appiah, Margot Bock not out of it, because if anybody ahead makes a mistake, they're going to lose 2 tenths. Bing like that, before you even think about it. And look how tight these battles are.
There's a bunch of tight groupings, and at the end of the day, all these athletes, it's you versus you, right? You always want your second run to be better than your first. You want to outpush it, you want to outdrive it, and then you hope that it's enough to outdo those people in the groupings ahead of you.
And it's definitely not just about the drive. Here, the track is going to have a massive effect. Our second heat will come up shortly with the sleds coming back down to complete day 1, and we will start that at 1600 local, 2100 GMT for the second heat of the monobob. So join Riley T-Jack, me, Martin Haven, and the rest of the IBSF TV crew in a little over an hour and 10 minutes.
We'll see you soon.